do you see any actress and you're like, she's taken a good path, I would like to do something like that?
I really admire Alia and even Mrunal.
Yeah,
I really,
yeah,
really look up to
yeah.
her, and she's like my elder sister.
When you come in movies, people see these as two different places. Like they're like, but she's there, she's a TV actor. Is anything different? You tell me.
The prep is the same.
Okay.
सिर्फ चीज़ ये होती है कि आपको टेलीविजन सेट पे स्क्रिप्ट सेम डे मिलती है, एंड व्हेन यू आर प्रोबेबली वर्किंग ऑन अ OTT project or a film for that matter, you have a lot of time. So for me, the medium doesn't really affect my process, because I am trying to get into the skin of the character. I'm trying to give my best. It's only आपके आसपास की चीजें बदलती हैं.
Your family, friends, cousins, they must be the regular reminders ki, hey, wow, you did this, we saw this, my friend saw this, someone wants a picture. How do you make sure none of this goes to your head?
मैं तो चाहती हूँ मेरी फैमिली मुझे ट्रीट करे, that you're listen, you're like you're up there, but I mean they treat me so like they treat me like
normal.
absolutely normal. Like some days I want attention, some days I want them to मुझे कि अरे कोई सर पे तो बिठा के रखो, पर ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है.
Are you comfortable in the social media game? Like someone will say, बहुत दिन से कुछ डाला नहीं है, let's do a photo session or let's put out something. Just if nothing, just put out anything.
I'm a very moody person in general. Like some days I would want to like bombard people with my selfies, and on some day I would want to just keep my phone aside and not look at social media, because it exhausts and consumes a lot of energy.
Tell me about the Showtime entire experience. What all do you remember? What do you want to keep with yourself?
First of all, I couldn't even believe that I was on the same set as Nasir sir, Imran sir, Vijay sir for that matter, because I had my scenes with them. Yes. It was magical.
Whenever we interview young actors like yourself, there's a list of filmmakers there who they want to work with. Who are on your list?
Sanjay sir, Sanjay Bhansali, and even Karan sir for that matter. I want him to direct me. Imtiaz sir, Rajan DK, Shujit sir. There's so many of them. Hi, I'm Mahima Makwana, and you're watching me on Bollywood Hungama.
Mahima, welcome to Bollywood Hungama.
Thank you.
I've been excited to do this interview with you after seeing your work. So, really looking forward to a fab conversation here.
It's an honor to be talking to you, sir, because just like I mentioned before we rolled, that I have seen so many of your interviews, and अच्छा लगता है when there are interesting conversations, so I'm so glad that we're doing this finally.
Totally, it's all manifestation, and like I said, I was watching those scenes in Showtime, and when you come and do that review and you totally rip that film apart, it's so relatable to so many people who do that, and but very well done, very well done.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna take you back. We really want to know more about you. You're born and raised in Bombay.
Yeah.
You're a Bombay girl,
Yeah.
and a lot of people think that people, just because they live in Bombay, they may have it slightly easy. Do you think so?
So I'm going to speak for my journey, because
please.
I totally understand that when you come from the outside, there are, especially Bombay is a difficult city and an expensive city to be a part of. Ab आपका rent से लेकर आपका घर and everything, the lifestyle, especially in city like Bombay, which keeps you on your toes, is very, very expensive. But for me also, I come from a lower middle class strata. I lost my father when I was born. I have been trying to make two ends meet, and I've started from scratch. And I've had my own share of struggles, and I take huge pride in it. And it did take me so many years to, first of all, find my own ground, find my own seating, especially in a city like Bombay, because एक तो जब आप बहुत ही scratch से शुरुआत करते हो, तो आपके लिए bare minimum becomes very, very precious. So it's now when I look back, I want to like give a pat on my shoulder that Mahima, you've come a long way, and you're doing the best that you can, and probably more than what was expected out of you. So I think everybody have their own set of struggles. जब कोई बाहर से आता है, they don't have a house, they have to लोग PGs में रहते हैं, or all of that. But I think it's the struggles, and it's the city, it's your profession, and everything together makes you the person that you are.
True, absolutely.
And it's how you look at it. So I've had a long journey in finding my own self, and finding comfort in a city like Bombay. But yes, I'm glad that I'm a Mumbaichi mulki.
Yeah, nice. So you were raised by a single mom,
Yeah.
and at what age, at what stage earlier in your career, we've seen you for long now. That when was the first thing that okay, let's try acting? She's good at it. Let her go on a set and see.
You know, sir, so I started out for a very different reason. Like I said, I wanted to make two ends meet. I wanted to be a helping hand for my mother, in order to, run the kitchen. So, mummy ka sapna tha to be a part of the entertainment industry, or theatre for that matter. But obviously the society that she was surrounded with, restrictions, family, upbringing, all of that didn't let her live that dream, and she wanted her daughter to do that and experience and see how it goes. So shuruaat meri hui when I was 9-10. That's when I was simultaneously studying, making sure that I was not missing out as much as I could. And I think it started out with chote mote roles, but much later in my journey, I think just when I was 13, 14ish, जब मेरा पहला show सपने सुहाने लड़कपन के had done, and it did the numbers, and I was experiencing too many things at the same time because it did do well. तब उस show के बाद मुझे realize हुआ that what, Mahima, I don't know, like I went with my instinct and the characters that came to me, or I think the filmmakers, the directors that saw something in me, because neither was I a child actor, nor was I in the range of, like somebody who can probably do very, very mature roles. But I think somewhere I got lucky, and I think I picked up projects based on my instinct, which made me take the unconventional route on television, because मेरे shows जो मैंने सपने के बाद किए वो ज़्यादा popular नहीं हुए because they were never like conventional. And I think that's when I realized that Mahima, it's so you're lucky that you get to do what you love, because I realized it while I was in my journey, while I was figuring my own thing, that this is probably this is something that you love, and there's no other way that you would. I mean, I don't see myself doing anything else apart from acting. And I feel like I think the feeling of feeling the most alive, that's something that I found for myself. And I think I can't think of a moment, but I think it was life, it was opportunities, and something that I realized while I was on my way.
Wow. Now there's, the world is open for you. There's so much more to do, so many more filmmakers to work with. Do you see any actress and you're like, she's taken a good path, I would like to do something like that? There's so many good examples that you have in front of you.
Yeah.
How do you see your career go ahead? What kind of movies?
So I really admire Alia.
Yeah.
Because of the performer that she is. When she started out, when she did Student of the Year, a lot of people looked down upon her because of probably the family. When you come from a certain privileged background, everybody around you they want to pull you down, they want to see you falter. But I think her choices and the fact that she she's ready to prove herself every time she comes on screen. So Alia, and even Mrunal, I really look up to her, and she's like my elder sister. And when I look at her, I mean, I think she's paved the path for us.
She has, right.
With the kind of choices that she's made, or like she's doing everything. She's doing web, she's doing film, she's doing south. So when I look at her, I see the little girl who is so passionate about filmmaking, who's so passionate about storytelling. So I think Mrunal and Alia both.
Nice. Doing what you did on TV is huge success by itself. But there's when you come in movies, people see these as two different places. Like, they're like, but she's there, she's a TV actor. Is anything different, you tell me?
The process for me, when I look at my script and when I start preparing, the prep is the same.
Okay.
सिर्फ चीज़ ये होती है कि आपको टेलीविजन सेट पे स्क्रिप्ट सेम डे मिलती है, एंड व्हेन यू आर प्रोबेबली वर्किंग ऑन अ OTT project or a film for that matter, you have a lot of time. So I think for me as an actor, it's the sincerity or the the prep that I will anyway do irrespective of the medium. So for me, the medium doesn't really affect my process, because I am trying to get into the skin of the character. I'm trying to give my best. It's only आपके आसपास की चीजें बदलती हैं, the scale changes, or how shot taking changes. Yeah, I mean, as far as also acting or performance is concerned, for television, there you have to make it slightly OTT, and that you're only doing it to deliver to a to cater to a certain audience. So I think the process is the same. I think you have to be ready to unlearn and learn and unlearn and learn, because there are different sorts of acting or maybe performances that every medium will demand out of you, and especially a filmmaker. Like, I feel you take a script to any of the directors, be it on a television set or theater or OTT or films, चारों के अलग तरीके होंगे उस प्रोजेक्ट उस प्रोजेक्ट को दर्शाने के. So I think everything around you changes, but what you bring to the table, I think you only evolve as an actor. So for me, it's the same. So
it's the same whoever I talk to. But do you think it's two things? One is TV looked down upon by the film world, or if it is, why? Like,
I feel it's only in India where we give so much emphasis to the transition phase. बहुत लोगों को पूछा जाता है कैसा रहा, how did you shift and what was the transition like? I mean, look at the West. We see Zendaya doing a film and a web and so many things. She's doing a musical. But यहाँ पे हमें क्यों मतलब, and वहाँ पे मतलब there are superstars like killing it on killing it everywhere, irrespective of the medium. It's only here that we give so much importance to where you have come from and how the transition is like. And yes, TV actors they are looked down upon because of the, like I said, I did mention about the performance that television demands out of you, तो आपको typecast करा जाता है. But I think it all boils down to if you're ready to change it, if you're ready to rediscover yourself, if you're ready to reinvent yourself. Because I held no qualms in auditioning for web or films while I was doing television, because I knew that, Mahima, probably the actor in you might get monotonous. Do you want to continue being on the path that you are, or do you want to test yourself? Do you want to make mistakes? Do you want to are you okay with the sort of criticism that you're getting? Because kya hota hai na, sir, on television, when you're the protagonist, everything revolves around you. So it's very easy to get swayed by it, to get carried away by it. But I think to answer your question, yes, but we do have examples. Like, we do have so many of examples but treatment changes. और मुझे लगता है कि ये एक human tendency है. People like to treat you for where you come from, and it just speaks about themselves and not
absolutely not at all. 100% right. You said one needs to rediscover and all to what do you do for that? Like, do you watch a lot? Do you read a lot? Do you see other performances? How does one better the art part?
I think a mix of everything. I hate to see myself on screen because I'm my biggest critique. अगर आप मुझे पूछेंगे if I've seen my past work, I'll tell you no, I just can't. I don't know, because I'm like, Mahima, there were so many things that you could have done better. So yeah, the learner in me always I'm my biggest critique. But I think I watch a lot of content. I have just started taking workshops. I recently did Neeraj Kabi's workshop to Rupesh Sulu's, and I think it's good. It's nice to go back to school. Because I'm not a trained actor. Whatever I learned at my job. So I think it's a mix of everything. It's a mix of readings, it's a mix of auditions, it's a mix of watching content, and I feel also not taking everything around you too seriously helps you to take your craft more seriously. So for me, it's a mix of everything.
The fame part is fun. There's no doubt about that. Your family, friends, cousins, they must be the regular reminders ki, hey, wow, you did this, we saw this, my friend saw this, someone wants a picture. How do you make sure none of this goes to your head?
So I have to tell you something. I come from a middle class background, okay? और मैं तो चाहती हूँ मेरी family मुझे treat करे that you're up there, but they treat me so like they treat me like absolutely normal. Like, some days I want attention, some days I want them to मुझे कि अरे कोई सर पे तो बिठा के रखो, पर ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है, कुछ भी नहीं होता है. So I think my grounding, and then you have your school friends and your college friends who only want to probably make fun of you, which is the best part. So I think my grounding is somewhere set, because I don't know, like, I feel abhi tak nothing has gone into my head, and I keep these factors, my family, and also who I am as a person. I don't know. It's just something which is not entered my head because I do realize that it's a ever changing process.
True.
People like to salute the rising sun. People will not look at you if your project. I know it's fickle. I know it's something which is temporary. So I think too soon. Probably in my career, I've realized that don't take whatever they're saying too seriously, but you can't help but let it affect you because at the end of the day, we all are, especially as actors, you are vulnerable creatures.
Right, true.
So.
Right. But again, okay, that part is the part that's keeping you grounded. Then there'll be your agency, there'll be your publicist, there'll be paparazzi who'll click you. How does this come naturally to you, doing all this?
It doesn't, and I remember having one of these conversations with Imran sir on set, and
he's a great example.
He is, and just when I so want ki Showtime ka ek aur season ho where I get to actually interact with these stalwarts because there's so much to learn from them. This was his, matlab, hum dono ka set pe last day tha, and I told him that don't you get tired of the noise around? I just wanted to, because I personally only enjoy the part where I'm acting. I am not somebody who
rest is noise,
and I necessarily don't enjoy it so much. But I'll give you an analogy. So, for instance, if I want to study abroad, and if there are multiple factors that I'm not comfortable with, or maybe I've not gotten accustomed to, maybe something which will come with time. So I think I'm figuring. I've never had an agency. Now there are 15 people telling you what to do, how to speak, how to be. But I think इसी सबके बीच में you tend to lose yourself. You tend to.
Absolutely.
So I think it's a process, and sometimes it's okay to lose yourself and find yourself all over again. But going back to conversations with Sir, I asked him. I was like, Sir, how do you manage? Because you've always been so honest and so people know you for your for being so honest, especially in his चाहे उनके segments हो या उनके interviews हो, and he's like, listen Mahima, at the end of the day आप कितना ही pretend कर लोगे, because people can see through your pretense, they're not idiots, and even though you have a facade, at the end of the day you will get exhausted with yourself. So he said, just do whatever that floats your boat. Work brings work. But I also understand, because I did disagree with whatever he said, because मैंने कहा कि maybe now is the time where there is a pressure to be relevant. There is this pressure to be seen at events, and
you're in a different phase. He's in a different phase.
Yeah, and I understand where we are, because we have so much happening. We have so much content. And we have so many people. It is important, I feel, to be seen. I think it's the need of an hour. Right. Although आपको अच्छा लगे या ना अच्छा लगे, it's a part and parcel, and it's an aspect of evolution.
Right.
Evolution of our industry as well.
This industry only corrupts the actors to every actor. You take the biggest names, they go for every award function, they all want. There's nothing wrong in this. Everybody should want whatever they want. But everybody goes for awards. Do you see yourself? This is a drill that the biggest stars follow. Whether it's for business, whether it's for branding. How comfortable do you see yourself just jumping in all that? It's a matter of time. You know that. You're on the. Your work is being appreciated. You are being recognized. You're doing interviews. There were paps outside. So literally on the verge. How comfortable will you be just listening to your agencies and just going with the flow?
I think it's something that I'm taking my own sweet time to get accustomed to, because it's like I said, earlier, that it's not something which comes naturally to me. I enjoy when I'm portraying different characters. I enjoy when I'm being somebody else. I take this with a lot of pressure, because also I think it was Rajshri Deshpande ma'am who had put up a post recently where she had
she got an award.
And also she had put up a post where she was talking about the expenses and investments that come with every appearance, and it can get hectic, because it's something that you signed up for, but it's also something that you're getting used to, probably. But everybody likes attention, and everybody may also not like when they're not getting attention, because when you have somebody senior in the same room as you, you're probably not going to be noticed. You're probably not going to be getting the importance that you're expecting. But I think it's something that you have to keep telling yourself ki nahi, it's okay, don't take it personally. So like on some days I'm okay listening to my agencies and telling what I'm supposed to do, and on some days I'm like, listen, you know what, I think I know what I'm doing. So I think it's something that I'm figuring out for myself. But what I most enjoy about my profession is just the part when I'm in front of the camera. Yeah.
Simple question. So is being famous difficult also?
Of course. I think, okay, let me actually understand, or maybe like dissect this. I think everybody is famous today, in today's time, thanks to social media. But the definition of being a star, or having that mysterious aura, the enigma that you have around you is it's something that I don't think anybody can achieve in today's time, because again, social media, paparazzi, there's so much noise, and you've been bombarded with who's doing what, who's going where, all of that. I think it's about what route do you want to take in order to get famous. I have always been, I always come from the school of thought of letting the work do the talking, or letting the work be on the on the forefront. So I think destiny or your choices, it's an amalgamation of bunch of things together. But I don't think famous hona is
right. Your generation has social media like that, like are you comfortable in the social media game, like like someone will say bahut din se kuch dala nahi hai, let's do a photo session, or let's put out something, just if nothing, just put out anything. These are all at the end of the day distractions from your main job, which is acting. One is what is social media for you? For some people it comes naturally, and they're killing it, and good for them. Where are you in social media?
I think when it comes to social media, I'm a very moody person in general. Like some days I would want to like bombard people with my selfies, and on some day I would want to just keep my phone aside and not look at social media, because it exhausts and consumes a lot of energy. Why do we see today's generation, especially Gen Z, being so unhappy and being so competitive? Because we wake up, we look at our phone, और हम देखते हैं कि अच्छा, he's doing so much better, she's looking so much nice, and you don't realize, but it adds a lot of.
Someone has a trailer launch, someone is in Maldives,
and it only adds to the fuel, of fire, and you're so unhappy within yourself. So it's more data and less soul, which is again the flip side of social media. But I think कभी-कभी हम बुराई भी करते हैं, but हमें भी brands चाहिए, हमें भी चाहिए कि हमारी following बढ़े, because that again becomes a huge part of the profession. Because when these brands don't come to you because of whatever reasons, be it your algorithm or your following or your presence or the brand that you have of your own, you do get disheartened too. So I think it's a balance that one needs to find for themselves. Ki acha, because I'm very moody. Like my management team does. They have to like feed into me ki listen, you have to be, but there's no facade that, I mean, all of us put up a facade, but there is, I like to showcase myself as some, like probably I'll put up a no makeup picture and then next day I'll do a photo shoot. So I want to tell people that listen, this is me, but this is also me.
Right.
So that's how I look at it. But I have to say, social media is something which is a slippery slope. It can really make you question yourself, make you unhappy, can cause some sort of an anxiety, but it's a great tool in itself too.
True, it is used well, right. OTT has changed things so much. So, tell me about the Showtime entire experience. Today, now that that Showtime has released, it's out, what all do you remember? What do you want to keep with yourself?
I was honestly really taken aback when that I happened to be a part of the show, because there is something about me where I like to, I mean, I don't like to, but I underestimate myself. When Panchami, when she reached out to me for the audition, for testing for Showtime, because I was the first people to get on board. I think pehle they only had Imran sir in mind, and rest everybody they were trying to figure out. But I tested for it, and we did a couple of rounds, and even when I got the part, I was in disbelief, because I don't know, I just couldn't believe. Just the whole experience, just the fact that I was given an opportunity which was so meaty, it was so
Good role,
wholesome,
right.
and it was so challenging at the same time because Mahika, my character, had to hold her own
Yeah.
amidst the chaos
True.
and the stalwart actors that we have. And I think I was really, really grateful to Karan sir, my directors, Arshit, Mihir, Panchami, my casting director, for the opportunity or because I have to tell you, sir, they had multiple people in their mind, some established ones, some names for my character. But I think Mihir did mention in one of his interviews that we saw Mahika in you.
Nice.
And
That's great. Right?
yeah, and
Yeah.
it was one of the biggest compliments. And some of the experiences, I think, I first of all, I couldn't even believe that I was on the same set as Nasir sir,
Yeah.
Imran sir, Vijay sir for that
Yeah.
matter, because I had my scenes with them.
Yes.
पहले तो मुझे believe ही नहीं हुआ because Nasir sir, I just had a day of shoot with him.
Wow.
When I looked at him walk on set, it just felt like the time stopped. It just, I don't know, like the little girl in me was reminding myself that Mahima, you're so lucky that you're getting this opportunity of for not only meeting him but also sharing screen with a legend.
Yeah,
He's an
absolutely.
institute of acting. It was magical, and I had such a great time because मैंने उनसे काफी सारे बातें भी की. Same with Imran sir. I don't know, like we had no interactions before shoot. We were directly like thrown into the pond and
Okay. No. Okay,
no,
workshop,
nothing. No, nothing. No workshops, nothing.
Okay.
Especially for, I think I did do a couple of readings, but with my co-actors, it was just, we would literally throw in. And the first day we shot the scene where I'm pitted against him. कि आप, that scene, आप फिल्में बनाइए, आप माल बेचिए, मैं फिल्में बनाऊंगी. That was the first day. And what I really liked about him was how secure he was as an actor. That's the thing about good actors, about secure people, which is very rare in our industry. He let me be. He gave me, it felt like both of us were playing chess. Like it was a great give and take, and the fact that there was no familiarity before the scene helped us bring out the non-familiarity on in that scene. It just somehow helped. I think the entire experience as a whole, I'll definitely keep it very, very close to my heart because it's also a show which talks about Bollywood, and Bollywood as a subject can never get boring. So yeah, it was definitely the most rewarding yet a learning experience.
Nice. What did people tell you about your character, your role? What all did you hear? Good things, not so good things. What all did you hear?
I mean, there were a bunch of things, and no matter हम कितना भी बोले कि no, I don't read reviews. No. The first thing that an actor does is, I mean, I'll speak for myself, is the moment the show is released, you want to know what people are talking about because at the end of the day, you've made it for the audience, right? So, yeah, there were a bunch of good and bad things that I heard. To be very honest, some people spoke about the naivety of the character that was needed, and her strength, and her will, and her confidence. And somewhere I think kahin na kahin people also thought that there wasn't much justification given to why did she become the way she became. And I feel she was not probably, but there are no justifications that even I can give for those explanations because I don't think she was even given enough breather to fathom what actually happened in her life, because she was literally thrown into something which was so unknown to her. So yeah, I mean, when I look at criticism, I take it with a pinch of salt, and I'm like, okay, it's constructive, and there's always so much that you can learn, unlearn, and you can always get better. It's a lifelong process. So yeah, there were a bunch of things that I heard, but I'm so happy. I have to say that within the first week itself, the show got about 5.7 million views, and like what a humongous reach thanks to OTT. But I'm so glad. I'm just in a very grateful headspace at this point.
Right. Whenever we interview young actors like yourself, there's a list of filmmakers they want to work with. Who are on your list?
It's a long list. Oh my
Go
God.
on and tell us give us some idea. So we know, even if someone's watching this interview, they should know what kind of roles you're looking for. Who do you want to work
I think this is a great medium because whatever I've gotten so far, I've gotten on my merit. Like, I've auditioned and tested for each and every part.
Nice.
But I think I'm going to use this medium and tell all the filmmakers that I mean, it's a long list, but I'm going to speak about a few. Obviously, Sanjay sir, Sanjay Bhansali, I think har kisi ka dream hota hai.
Every woman I speak to wants to work with him. The way he puts,
and even Karan sir for that matter. I want him to direct me because no matter हम कितनी भी complain करें about those chiffon sarees and ठंड में, I think I've grown up watching those songs and the larger than life romance. So Karan sir, Sanjay sir, Imtiaz sir, Rajan DK, Shujit sir. There's so many of them. And even Avinash recently, who directed Three of Us. He
beautiful.
Like I said, it's a long list. So and also the kind of stuff that I want to do, I think I want to do a mix of both, and it's something that I'm also figuring out for myself. I want to do challenging stuff. I also, at the same time, I want. It's been so long that we haven't seen romance. Apart from Rocky and very few love stories. So I really want to, जैसे महिका भी शो में बोलती है कि वो वैसे कहानियाँ लानी हैं जहाँ वक्त थम सा जाए. Because we have thriller, we have we have a lot of like. I want to see something where probably you get lost. Lost in love stories, lost in. जैसे पहले की, I don't know, I mean, it's something that I can't think of an example, but something on the lines of say kal ho na ho, or kabhi khushi kabhi gum, something on those lines. So I want to do a bunch of things. It's a long list.
Right. Give us an idea about your taste. What do you watch? If you sit and watch OTT, what is on your menu?
I'm going to tell you some of my favorite shows, which gives you...
recently that you watched and
recently,
enjoyed.
I'm slightly lazy when it comes to catching up content. So I'm gonna tell you one of few of my favorites, which also gives. I really loved Schitt's Creek. It's something that I thought that it's so good. But I love tragedy as well to some extent. I really liked. Three of Us. Three of Us, then Scenes from a Marriage, Tumbad, 96, Great Indian Kitchen, Gone Girl.
Okay.
Yeah, there's so it's a mix. But I really like watching characters who are slightly grey. Like, I don't know if you know about this film Promising Young Woman. Where she takes over, she takes charge of whatever happens and she becomes eccentric. So I really like grey stuff. And even Gone Girl, something along the lines of Gone Girl.
Your personality is very different and positive, and so there's something else inside.
But I mean, I think Bollywood is something which I come down to when I'm probably having a low day.
Makes you happy. Makes you happy. You come across as a very positive, vibrant young person, which you are. When it comes to getting work, it's not easy. How does one stay positive through that time? When one show is over, one film is over, the next one may take time, may take longer. That phase is not easy. How does one stay positive? Just like you are right now, it's amazing. How does one stay like that?
It's difficult. It's difficult. You have your days when you probably want to give up, and you take a day when you're probably crying it out, you question yourself, you doubt your choices. But I think self-belief is something that you have to make best friends with, because there's no other way that you're going to be able to probably sit through the silence or prove the filmmaker that you have it in you. Because I think sometimes it's a mix of talent and confidence. Talented तो बहुत सारे लोग हैं, but confidence is something which does waver when you don't have work, or maybe when you're waiting for that right project which sits well with your gut. What do? I think like I said, there are good days, there are bad days. Some days I cry it out. Some days I take workshops. I would take a trip. Probably having a conversation with a friend help. So it's yeah. There are some. I think you just keep telling yourself that it's fine. Things will happen. Yeah. Although it's a very very difficult industry to be a part of because you don't really know when your next job is going to be.
Yeah.
And especially when you're the sole earning person of the family, there's pressure about finance, money. Okay, I have to keep the ball rolling. So yeah, like it does take a toll on you when you don't have work because it's a very uncertain, unstable profession to be a part of. But it's something that you also signed up for.
Yeah.
So like I said, self-belief and just having the will to, or maybe trusting the universe, or maybe just knowing that it will all make sense. But yeah, it can get really difficult. It can get the whole weight. Can get scary because you don't really know, because I feel your next job depends on the current one and how it's been perceived. Because I don't come from a place of having a godfather, right? So there are things that you're also figuring out for yourself. It can get scary, but I think it's something that you have to accept because you signed up for it.
Right. If there's any doubt in your head, there should not be. Look where you've reached. It is quite amazing.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Mahima Makwana and you're watching me on Bollywood Hungama.